Feed the neighborhood with a tailgate-ready Big Bow Box. It's bow time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Extra Points. This is Colby, Reece, and joining me today is Reece sports editor Jackson Hephner. JMU gets a huge win to end their season, 56-14 here at Coastal Carolina. Obviously, huge performance from JMU today, 11-1 on the season. What was your thoughts on just a dominating performance from JMU?
You know, it's almost kind of like poetic. For the second year in a row, JMU faces Coastal Carolina to end the season, and they do so on not just a high note, but the highest of notes. JMU scored 56 points today. That is the most that they have ever scored against an FBS opponent. The previous record was last year's Coastal game when they scored 47 on the Chanticleers. But today they do it on the road in decisive fashion. And, you know, I think the biggest storyline from this game, no matter what happens with all the games that are currently being played and how things shake up in terms of if JMU can make a bowl, I think you really just have to take a step back and just say, wow. I mean, 11-1, second year of the transition, somehow better than the already incredible year from last season. I mean, it's truly astounding.
Yeah, and the offense today really played well. Jordan McLeod had a good game. Elijah Surratt had 4 touchdowns. Phoenix Sproles had a career high in receptions. What did you see out of the offense that just seemed to score on every drive tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like today was a total team win. I believe it was Jordan who said that in the post-game presser. I'm not 100% sure, but someone kind of called it a total team win, and I would have to agree with them on that because, you know, just everything was clicking. I mean, Phoenix Sproles, who we haven't really seen a ton of this year, really just came out, had one of his best games of his entire career, in potentially his last game of his entire career. He had a career high 11 receptions, 99 yards, although apparently JMU Athletics will be reviewing that to see if he broke 100. But yeah, on top of that, you had Elijah Surratt and Reggie Brown both capping off historic seasons, both surpassing 1,000 yards. And, you know, just the entire offense, you know, the offensive line was really strong. Zach Horton had some pretty good rushes. I believe he had a touchdown at one point. That would be his 6th of the season. So yeah, just an incredibly complete performance from the offense. And
onto the defensive side of things, also played really well. First half shutout, forced a lot of turnovers. What did you see out of the defensive group?
I know we talk a lot about Jalen Green, and I know people are going to continue to talk a lot about Jalen Green, but let's give some love to the entire defensive line here. 45 sacks. That's a Sun Belt record in a single season. And on top of that, Duke's also won the turnover battle. Jalen Walker and D'Angelo Pons forced fumbles, and, you know, the Chanticleers had 3 fumbles that all 3 of them were recovered by JMU. That was huge in this game.
And obviously a historic season for JMU. 1 loss. Could have been an undefeated season, but what do you think people should take away from what has just been an historic season and just kind of one of the best seasons in JMU football history, and just kind of, I mean, JMU's obviously nationally known now and kind of moving into next year's, whether it's this last game or not. What should be taken away from this season?
You know, credit where credit is due to App State. I mean, you know, they're going to be going back to the Sun Belt Championship game. I know a lot of JMU fans are very disappointed how that game ended, but, you know, the Mountaineers, they put together a great season. I think, you know, even though I do feel JMU deserved to go to the Sun Belt Championship more than they did, you do have to, you know, they got the win. They did what they had to do at the end of the year. And, you know, it's going to be a good conference championship next week. I'm looking forward to it. But I think the biggest thing is, you know, JMU is the standard. They're the bar. And next year they're going to be dangerous. The amount of key weapons on this team that are coming back, specifically Jordan McLeod, who will be playing his final season, you know, that this team they're fully ready to run it back, and this time they don't have to deal with any bowl eligibility. They don't have to deal with a lawsuit. They don't have to deal with any of that crap. Pardon my language a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. You know, they're going to come back and they're going to be fully eligible for every postseason opportunity that they can win. And my gosh, it looks like they might very well win it.
Yeah, well said, Jackson. And whether this is JMU's last game or not, this is the regular season finale, so we'll see what happens from here. But it's been fun covering this team all season, so thank you all for following along, and we will see you when we see you.